Hey, Pisces, Intuitive Soul Coach here with your November 2024 career and money reading. Welcome back to my channel if you're returning, and welcome if you're new. If you're interested in a personal reading, signing up for the monthly newsletter, or entering into the free reading giveaway, you can find all of that information in the description box below the video. All right, Pisces, I'm getting a couple messages for you right off the bat. And the first one is be mindful of who you share your goals or your ideas with, because not everyone is trustworthy, or not everyone is going to be as excited or as enthusiastic. So some of you may be building or keeping something to yourself for the time being, until you're ready to put it out there. Okay, now for others of you, I'm also getting here, let your energy be used to build, not destroy. Now, that makes me feel like some of you are in a very prime peak manifestation period. So be careful around the thoughts that you're putting out into the world. Be careful of who you allow into your energy. I mean, this is making sense. Look what you start off with, the Tower. It's in reverse, which is good, which means you're freeing yourself from that which other people may judge. It could be other people's opinions, other people's judgments, criticism. Some of you, I feel like you're letting it all crash around you. You're letting it all come to a point where this is pivotal because it's destroying old structures. You're not the only sign that's received the Tower. November is going to be a significant month energy-wise, and I actually feel like this showing up for you is signaling big changes. It is signaling some big changes, some sudden changes here, but I feel like this is part of your restructuring when it comes to your career and your long-term goals as well. Now, we have here crossing your path, the Seven of Wands. That's the reason why the Tower is showing up here, is to free you, right? Is to free you from that which holds you back, which could be beliefs, right? A lot of times the Tower is internal. A lot of times that Tower is destroying old structures in order for us to have the new beginnings that we want in our outer worlds. And you're going through an awakening. And I do feel like there could be sudden change coming in here. You have the Judgment card. You have the Nine of Wands. There's a choice that's been made or will be made here that's going to set you free. And it's going to bring about a new beginning. The stars are aligning. You have the Fool here as well. I do feel like some of you, there has been rejection that actually was protecting you, okay? Or this can be about coming out of denial. You have the denial coming in at the bottom of the deck. And it says, perhaps reality is something other than you thought it was going to be. We could be denying the truth. What are you refusing to see? It's better to live in truth than a lie. And if you've been putting up a false front, or if you've been dealing with other people who have been putting up false fronts, I feel like this is the time. That's why you have the Judgment here. This is the time for that to be uncovered. I also see that collectively, globally, politically, we're going to see a lot being unmasked. And that's why we have the Strength at the bottom of the deck here. And I feel like you are being put on this path of a new beginning. The world needs your gifts. Your energy is needing to build at this time and maybe rebuild that structure, whatever has been maybe destroyed. I feel like you're the Phoenix. You're rising from the ashes here out of some sort of destruction. And through that rising up is where we see the breaking out of imprisonment, breaking out of confinement here. This is pretty big for you. Pisces, you have already the Judgment, the Fool, the Tower. Those are big major arcanas. But in your environment, there you're showing up, King of Cups. The feminine version, King of Cups here, saying the world needs your gifts. The world needs what you have to offer here. So don't hold yourself back. Hopes and fears. We have the Ace of Pentacles. And what's the outcome, Spirit? What's the outcome? Okay, beautiful. Bottom of the deck here, Knight of Wands. You may have to jump through some hoops. Okay, you may have to jump through some hoops at this time, but I feel like it's going to be worth it. The Knight of Wands is enthusiasm. It's adventure. It is also about taking bold action towards your curiosities, towards your intuitive calling, your intuitive nudges, even if it means you have to discover bits and parts, and including some of what's falling down around you, because your first card out is the butterfly, and this is about sudden change. That makes sense with the Tower. Be mindful of frivolous spending. Be mindful of, impulsive tendencies with that Knight of Wands, or people around you who may feel quite impulsive, and they could even pull you into their fear factor, right? And I feel like you are highly intuitive. You're showing up as very emotionally intelligent, and I feel like you are the portal. You see here on this King of Cups, and this illustration is so unique here. You see that it's represented by the ship coming through. There's something about you being the portal to helping other people transition or go through a period of transition, because you've been there as well. A lot of you are healers. A lot of you are light workers, Pisces. Even if it's not what you do professionally, which some of you do, but I feel like you are a nurturer. You are someone who holds a lot of power through your emotions, and your emotions is what drives the ship here to move forward. Now, the butterfly says this is also a time to get creative. This is a time to not take things so seriously. When that Tower comes in, the first thing we do is we kind of push in our energy. We kind of go inward because we tense up, right? And I feel like you are being guided to see something crumbling for the better, but how can you rebuild from it? How can you turn some sort of disaster or destruction into gain? How can you see through the eyes of new perspective, right? See through the eyes of a new lens and make this fun along the way. Now, this could be a temporary shift that you're going through here. This could be short term. And I feel what this is saying also is whatever chaos is going on around you, it does feel like it's short-lived. And I actually feel like you're going to come through on the other side, hence the King of Cups showing up. You're going to come through on the other side, and you're going to be just fine, because in one hand here, she's carrying the ship. In the other hand, it's like the ship's coming through. We could also see some movement globally, economically, politically around ships or shipping. Okay, take that as it resonates. In the month of November, I am getting that. It feels like something is being held up here. There could be a hold up. You know the truth. Don't fall into the fear factor. I keep getting that for you, fear factor. And I feel like you are very funny. You're someone who is very comedic, or you could be guided to go watch a comedy show or watch some funny videos, make someone laugh or connect and just have that complete belly laugh. And I feel like the universe is saying at this time, don't take things so seriously, because they're not going to last for a very long time. Like the seriousness, the heaviness isn't going to last for a long time. If there was some sort of rejection or denial, I feel like you can now look back on it and kind of laugh at it. You know how that happens sometimes, where you can go back to a situation after the fact and laugh? I kind of get that for you now, where yes, I do see that there was a tad bit of refusal. There was maybe even a little bit of a head and heart pull. This I'm getting Two of Sword vibes here. And this can even feel like you were ignoring a choice, maybe paralyzed by indecision here, or it just felt like you were coming up against a block. And now you're able to see the truth. You're able to see why that was taking place here. Now, you also have parenthood. Some of you could be parents. Maybe you work with children. You could be healing your own inner child. That could help you make money, Pisces. You may be a caregiver, a teacher, a pediatrician, or in any other career around children, mothering, parenting, fathering, or just caregiving. And I am getting that here with the King of Cups. And this also has to do with the inner child, big time for some of you. And you may be saying, well, Mel, how does that relate to my career? How does that relate to my finances? But sometimes it is the conditioning, the beliefs that we've learned very early on about, how our family deals with money, how mom spends, how dad spends, how they make their money. What are their beliefs about it? Because we tend to instill sometimes our parents' beliefs into our own until we come to a point in our lives where we say, hey, is this real for me? Do I have to have that same belief? Does that ring true for me now? And I feel for a lot of you, you're healing some of the things that you've learned back then that may have held you back. And I do see success here. Some of you are very, very successful, or you are embracing moving towards a fulfilling path that will bring you the finances that you need to make a living, but also to fulfill you and fulfill those needs financially, spiritually, and emotionally is what I'm getting here for you. You also have the feather. This is abundance. This is easy money. It's also about divine intervention. That's the Tower. The Tower comes in when we need to see things from a different point of view, or we need to take a look at some structures that just are not working anymore. And maybe it's a time where there is sudden upheaval. There is sudden change going on around the world or within the workplace. There was a big theme starting with Aries reading, and it was because Spirit had guided me to merge two decks together, and that's not something I do. I don't think I've ever done that before, and I had two money decks, and I love them both, and I was guided to merge them. So in the month of November, we may see a lot of mergers taking place. We may see buyouts. We may see that where we hold our money, that place of establishment or financial institution could be bought out. It could have a new name. It could be joining forces with another company. I also see I see this as part of your path as well, where you may be guided to work with others. You may be seeing some old structures, some old systems, some old ways of doing things falling to the ground in order to be rebuilt in a more effective way. And we don't love change, right? Sometimes change can be scary, and we say, oh, I don't really want to learn this new systems. It's going to be work. It's going to take time. It's going to take me needing to add another thing to my plate. That's just what I need, right? But I feel like some of you, once you learn this new system, or once you integrate this new way of doing something, working with someone, collaborating, maybe it's technology based, whatever this may be for you, it actually grows quite quickly and helps you out better than you ever thought possible. And it can multiply your income. Now, I also see travel. Some of you could be traveling in the month of November, traveling for work, or this could be a much needed time out for you. And it doesn't have to be traveling on a plane, although it could be. Some of you, it's by ship or by water. Some of you, I'm getting an island. Maybe you're traveling to Hawaii, or you're traveling to, New Zealand, or wherever it may be. I feel like there's still a little bit of change in the air. Well, a lot of it with the Tower, but it actually feels like something is raining upon you. And instead of it feeling like it's the ash from the Tower that lands on you, and you can't see through ash, right? You can't see through it. It almost feels like what is landing on you is quite abundant, and it makes you feel like you're of importance. And not that you need that to stroke your ego, but I actually feel like what it does is it awakens a part of you. There's something here about being of significance, being of importance, helping other people out. Some of you may even be working in disaster relief, or you may be someone who is an emergency services or something of that nature. Okay, and I feel like you are a helper, you are a healer. Now, bottom of the deck, we said the denial card, it almost feels like you're saying no to something here. You're saying no to that way of doing things, or you may be denying another that wants to keep the changes mediocre. Or if this is a part of yourself that is saying, I don't really want to embrace the changes, even though they're here, I'm just going to keep doing things in the old way, that's going to be a disaster for you. You're meant to move towards this new beginning. That's why you have the Fool. So if this is you, or if it's someone you're dealing with, I feel like someone's going to get an awakening. Someone's going to get a cold splash of water on their face. There's going to be a wake-up call. And I feel like if you're not on ship, if you're not on board, someone's jumping ship here is what I'm getting. Someone's jumping ship. If they're not willing to work with some of the changes that are taking place, I feel like they're out of there, or they could be leaving due to maybe so much shift happening. But I feel regardless of where you stand in this, I feel like you're coming out on top. With your cards that are going up your reading here, I feel like you will be coming up on top. Now, you have the Seven of Wands crossing your path. The Seven of Wands can feel defensive. It can feel like there's been accusations or maybe closed off to this energy. Sometimes this can be resisting change, right? Or it can be everyone feeling chaotic. I mean, you see on the Seven of Wands, it's etched into his chest there, tattooed: war, famine, love, heartbreak, loss, destruction, right? It feels like he's been through everything. And how interesting, there's also the anchor of the ship. It feels like you have been anchored behind bars in some way, and you're breaking out of it. That's part of this new beginning. This is about you non-conforming, Pisces. This is about you meeting a challenge and giving it a wink, because you're living more lighthearted around this. You have this lighthearted feather energy. It's like you are the only one embracing some sort of change, and you're the only one doing something about it, where everybody is standing around you almost wanting to deny that change is happening. And you're like, wait a second here. Are we going to work with these energies, or are we going to let them sweep us up in their tornado? And that's why that message came in right away. Let your energy be used to build, not destroy. And I feel like you are the one that's building here. You are the one that is saying, I have what it takes. I know my beliefs. I'm going to defend myself here. And I feel like you do have the upper hand, because some of you have been closed off, or you've dealt with accusations, or you felt pressure. You felt like you wanted to run, right? You're breaking out of those feelings. And that's why the Tower is coming in to help you break out of this. Now, what's below you? What's in your foundation? You've gone through a lot. You're going from the Seven of Wands. You know, you've been in that Nine of Wands. So you know what this feels like. You've been there before. You know what change feels like, because I feel like change has accompanied you maybe more times than the average person, because this is below you. And I feel like when you get to this point where you have obstacles that you've had to persevere, that you've had to really reach into that strength, it's almost as if there's a part of you that's reignited from the inside out. There's a renewed sense of determination here. There's a renewed sense of bravery for you to overcome any external hurdles that are thrown at you. I feel like that's your gift. I really do. You have that gift. And because we have the Judgment card, and actually you have a themed card right on top of the Judgment. I don't know how we missed this one. So I feel like this isn't a miss. This was meant to go with the Judgment in the recent past. It says here, there's an accomplishment that you've recently met. There is maybe self-employment. Some of you, this is home oriented. For others of you, it's art and design. It could be steady income. You may have received a certification. Again, there's a significant level of importance here or acknowledgement. And I feel like a choice was made around this. A choice was made around this accomplishment. And maybe you went for a raise. Maybe this is about you leaving behind a position because things were very disorganized, very chaotic, and you could be breaking out of that. If this is a structure that you built for yourself in your own business, I feel like a judgment call has been made. And I feel like you're reinventing yourself here. And you're saying, I'm breaking out of this old structure, this old paradigm, and I'm getting up to date with some new ways of seeing the business or the company develop. Yeah, it almost feels like I'm getting Aquarian vibes here. For those of you that are on that Aquarian cusp, perhaps February is going to be a big month for you. But I also see here, if you have Aquarius in your chart, you may want to check that out. But there is a deciding factor. So we have here more decisions taking place. The Seven of Cups is the card of not letting distractions get in the way here or cloud your judgments, because there is a tad bit of confusion, but there's also possibilities. Spirit is saying, don't be afraid to explore. Explore unconventional ways. Explore new ways of doing things, new ways of bringing in money, monetizing, or enhancing your skills. And sometimes that can be confusing or overwhelming. So the best thing that you can do is ground your energy. Hold your center, hold your balance when it comes to the tornado, when things feel like they're crumbling around you. What can you do to find your peace? Because the North Star here, you see that there's the Big Dipper and she's pointing. It's like her head is in the clouds. This can be a dreamy, whimsical energy as well, but I feel like you have more clarity here. The stars are aligning to really bring this choice to you here. There's something you are choosing. Now, here it is coming in, the Fool. There's the leap of faith. There's a new beginning for you, Pisces, and it's going to require you to embrace this new beginning. This is the Aquarian energy. Beautiful. So this is also about your potential. It's about your soul self. It's saying, stay curious and discover. And this is also the card of travel. So I definitely feel if you're traveling this month, you could come back with a completely different perspective on, yourself. You may be discovering, some of you may even be taking a spiritual retreat or discovering something about yourself in the month of November. With the Tower, this could be restructuring of, your belief system. And it's going to allow you to take a leap of faith and have a new beginning when it comes to your finances and abundance. Now, how are you feeling? In your energy, you're curious. You have your magnifying glass out there. You are looking for the adventure, the path. You're curious about this. I feel like there's going to be a project, a career path, or a message around a project or a career. I feel like you could be communicating. You could be, you see the toucan, you see the parrot. There's a message coming in and you're evaluating this information. You're taking this information in and you're saying, okay, what do I do with it? You have a choice. I don't know if you've made this choice yet with the Judgment card. Perhaps for some of you, it feels like there has been a rejection in the past, but I feel like it's followed up with another opportunity. Okay. And it feels like you are examining this new path, this new opportunity, this new job, this new class, this new option. And I see here that it's going to be you trusting your intuition. King of Cups showing up in your environment. You're someone who's very compassionate. You're very patient. And I also feel like you're very emotional. And I feel like there's some sort of emotion. Remember what I said earlier about that emotion steering the ship? The emotion is able to, help you make some choice or decision. And it's not saying that you're throwing the sword energy, the intellect, the thought to the wind, not at all. But I feel like you're remaining open. You're keeping the heart open here when it comes to making some choices or decisions. You're asking yourself the right questions, right? You're asking yourself, does this feel fulfilling, or is this aligning with my values? Does this align with my purpose? Is this a repeat of the past? Is there a lesson that I need to learn? What has been working? What has not? So I do feel like you are examining some of the options and the choices with the magnifying glass there of what inspires you. And you're making a very big girl or big boy decision, right? With the King of Cups. I mean, this is a choice that it is stemming from a place of intuition and heart and soul. And I feel like, yes, something has passed you by. It wasn't meant for you, but there's a new opportunity that you're going to grab onto. And a lot of you, yes, you're healers. This may be about, your path moving forward as a healer or as a light worker or helping or healing others. Now, you could work in, I'm getting like shipping services, goods. And because I have a lot of Aquarian energy, something with technology based, you may work from home, work remotely. Be mindful because you could have some sort of electronics go haywire. Try not to panic, okay? Try not to panic. I feel like it'll be short-lived. Again, whatever is going on here is short-lived. And I feel like you'll be able to laugh it off or have fun with it, play with it. What are other options that you can do? This happened to me not long ago, and we're actually seeing all over, the ins and outs of service when it comes to maybe cell phones, cell towers. We're seeing shipments being delayed. There's a lot of activity going on nature-wise and, globally. There's just a lot happening. And the other day I was trying to record and my computer completely, what I was hoping that I could start it up and it would be fine. Worst case scenario, it bit the fritz and everything was lost because I didn't have it, backed up, all of it recently backed up anyway. And, at first that panic started to creep in. And then I thought for a second, I had to kind of chuckle and say, okay, what can I do with this space? I can figure this out, right? Rationally, I can try some new things that I haven't tried instead of freaking out about it, right? Which doesn't get anybody anywhere. I don't feel like that's your mentality, Pisces. You're someone who realizes if you have some strong emotions that are coming in, you're going to say, wait a second. Yeah, that's reactive of me. That's something that's going to be natural coming in right away when there is some sort of concern. But then you're not going to stay in that energy. You're going to find resolution. You're going to find emotional intelligence coming in and saying, what can I do with this? And what is this teaching me? What is this guiding me? How can I stay patient? How can I keep open? And that's what is happening here. And that may be one of your greatest gifts. And it was, I think, 15 minutes later, and I found some solutions and the computer turned back on. So we just have to find new ways of doing things and we'll get through it. Remember, everything is figure outable. Now, in your hopes and fears, you're hoping for a new beginning that's going to be long term. Because some of you, I feel like you've jumped ship and maybe you've gone through 2 different careers in the last couple of years or a few different ones. Or maybe you're thinking about jumping ship, but you want it to be long term. And the fear is missed opportunities. The fear is, what if I don't do this now? Or what if my material desires get in the way of my spiritual well-being and I manifest dis-ease because I'm feeling so much anxiety or I'm feeling the fear? I feel like there is a new beginning with the Fool showing up. Now, whether it's long-term or not, I feel like that depends on you, right? I feel like that depends on you. You've learned some very valuable lessons in the past. I see that here with the 9 of Wands. The 9 of Wands is saying if you have that renewed sense of determination to overcome any obstacles, any hurdles, and you can do that in an intelligent manner, but also know that the feelings that you have are like visitors, they're fleeting, but trusting your intuition along the way is actually going to be helpful because you have teamwork coming in here. Your final outcome is the Three of Cups. The Three of Cups is a celebration. The celebration because you heard some good news that you've evaluated. And I feel like there's a raise. This can be an opportunity for abundance. For some of you, you're passing the test or a test. This could be a new job. Some of you, it's a holiday. It's a vacation. I mean, Three of Cups is the card of celebration because of a win that makes you feel quite good, right? It's emotional satisfaction. And this tells me that I feel like your hope has manifested. Your hope has come true. You don't need to know if this is long-term, although I feel like it is. Ace of Pentacles is the long-term ace, right? It is the one that takes time to build up, but this could be a forever position or some path that you will roll into deep into even your retirement years if it's something that brings you extreme fulfillment and happiness. And I do see here with the Three of Cups, this is about soul tribe. It is about your people, coming together instead of feeling left out, instead of feeling like you don't have some sort of support. That may be why you've left a position, or maybe there was organized chaos. Okay, maybe you're moving into new organized chaos where things start to feel a little bit less chaotic for you. That was a big theme, I believe, in Aries or maybe Taurus's reading as well, something with organized chaos. And I feel like time management is significant here. Yeah, being able to manage your time, being able to celebrate your wins, celebrate your successes. And I said this in the beginning, and I'm going to say it again. I feel like you have wealth written all over you. Now, wealth doesn't have to just be money, right? It can be a wealth of knowledge, a wealth of information, a wealth of tribe, a wealth of support. Whatever wealth means for you. Yes, the money piece is here with the Ace of Pentacles. But I also feel like it's important for you to celebrate your wins, including your spiritual well-being, because that is a win in itself. And so often we look at external things as wins, and we often forget the feminine within us, that receptivity within us. And I feel like you are celebrating something you've accomplished on an internal level. And that is a big win too. Now you have Truth Be Told, card 14, Truth Be Told. I told you there's going to be some sort of truths coming out here. 14 is the Temperance. The Temperance card is having patience. It is giving yourself a little bit of that tender love and care and finding balance. Balance is key here. It says honesty, accepting things at face value, coming out of denial. And we have that denial card here. The willingness to be transparent, clarity of communication. And because I see the magnifying glass on the page, which pages represent communication, some of you are going to have, a face-to-face, or you're going to have some sort of communication, and I feel like you're going to get to the nitty-gritty. You're really going to get to the root of it. That's why that magnifying glass is held up. Are you willing to do whatever it takes to experience the prosperous life you desire? If you want to be an artist, do you make your art a priority? If you want to be a healer, do you set time aside to learn new things to help you serve? A writer must write and a singer must sing. Being true to your calling is essential to your moving forward. There is another oracle message here as well. It's time to have a look at the real, honest truth about your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs about prosperity, about your relationship to money, to compensation, and to meaningful work. Ask yourself, what is true for me? And you will find the key to your abundance. I love that for you. Now, if you're unhappy, okay, if you're unhappy with your career at this time, what are you being dishonest about, right, with yourself or others? If you're unhappy in an area of your life, look for signs of denial. And I'm reading the protection message because we have this denial card, and you still feel like you may be imprisoned here with the Seven of Wands that you're wanting to break out of. This can also pertain to others being misleading or withholding or acting from hidden agendas. Now is the time to say no to dishonesty in all forms. You can't make that up. Look at the big N-O there. Even if you don't like what you hear, acknowledging it will be a key to a beautiful new future where you no longer labor under the heavy burdens that deceit and denial impose on you. Set yourself free. Nothing less than truth is required. Remember, that's your biggest opportunity in the month of November, is setting yourself free. I like this for you. This is big. Don't be scared of this tower. This tower is what a lot of people want, right? But when we get it, we're like, oof, am I really ready? Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Let's get some messages here, Pisces, from your spirit animals. And at this time, if you can safely do so, please close your eyes. Take a nice deep breath in from your solar plexus chakra, your belly area. Nice big inhale. Hold it as long as you can. And release with a nice big sigh through your mouth. And with your eyes still closed, tune into your third eye chakra, the area between your eyebrows and your forehead region. And I want you to imagine the first animal or animals that show up in your mind's eye. Now this could be an animal that flies high in the sky. It could be an animal that swims deep in the sea. Perhaps your animal is wild, magical, mystical, or even domesticated. This could be a pet that's crossed over the rainbow bridge, one that's visited through your dreams, or maybe even crossed your path in the great outdoors. This could even be a pet that you have at your home or by your side as you're listening to the reading. There is no right or wrong answer, Pisces. And if you need a moment, just pause the video and come back when you're ready. And for those of you that would like to be entered into the free monthly reading giveaway, you can find it below, but drop your power animals in the comment section below the video. And I personally will enter you into that giveaway. So please make sure you've hit that subscribe and bell button so you don't miss that notification on the first of the month. All right. You can't make this up. You're getting synchronicity after synchronicity, Pisces. Your first card out, you have a lot of threes. Some of you are in your 30s, 33, 34, 36. You may be a 3 life path. You may be born on the 3rd or in a 3 personal year. And 3 is your outcome. Spirit's right. 3 is your outcome here. 3 of Cups. Your first card out, 33, is freedom is yours. Horse spirit. Freedom is yours. I love that. That coincides with the entirety of your reading, being set free. You have armadillo. Set healthy boundaries. Yeah, set healthy boundaries between you and others. Don't let others disrespect you. Know when to draw the line in the sand. Say no when it's a no and say yes when it's a soul yes. Okay? Healthy boundaries are going to help you create more prosperity because it's a form of self-respect, a form of self-love and self-care. We have hummingbird spirit. Be present. Be here now. And even though there's a lot going on around you, you can raise your frequency and you're able to see things from that higher perspective. Okay, so be present. That is the gift, right? That is the gift, to staying present. And then lastly here, card 36, you have koi fish. There's always enough. There's always enough. This is the card of longevity, prosperity. You've heard of throwing pennies in the koi fish pond, right? Making a wish, throwing that penny in there. I feel like there's plenty. And for some of you, you had to overcome perhaps a scarcity or poverty conscious mindset. And I do feel like there's plenty for you here. And again, I told you there's something with wealth and you, right? Wealth and you, but it's going to require boundaries. It's going to require you to take action, take a leap of faith, and be fully present while doing so. Last but not least, let's get a final message here for Pisces. What does Pisces need to know? Breathe. Yeah, breathe. Breathe deeper. Slow down and become present with your surroundings. Relax into the present moment. You are right where you are meant to be. Now, I can't help noticing you have the hummingbird spirit on this card, and you also have the hummingbird here as well. So I do feel like November could be a very high frequency month. There may be a lot going on this month for you. There's a lot going on energetically as well. So remember to stay present. I mean, we're getting the same message that hummingbird just delivered to us. Staying present with your surroundings. Be here now. So double confirmation. And then last but not least, you have inner child. You can't make this up. We talk about the inner child at the beginning of your reading. Healing that inner child will help you make money. And it says here, honor everything you've been through by supporting what your inner child needs now. Love her or love him. You are your best mother, best father, your best friend, your best sister, your best brother to her. She is safe, he is safe and loved within you. You are so very loved, and I feel like it is time for you to nurture that little inner Pisces at this time, okay? Because you have gone through a lot. And I feel like self-love is required at this time. And boundaries is a form of self-love, right? Nurturing yourself. Being able to say yes to the things that feel like a soul yes and no to the things that, are holding us back or we are in denial about, putting a stop to that. Again, like it says here, it's better to live in truth than in a lie. And that's why we have truth be told. Be kind to yourself, Pisces. That is what I have for you. A lot going on for you, but it looks like you're heading in a good direction with celebrations in order. If this resonates, please hit that thumbs up button. Feel free to share, like, subscribe, and hit that bell. And please do drop your power animals, Pisces, in the comment section below the video. And thank you again so very much for tuning in today. Lots of love.